Testing.
Hello? Can you
Yeah, I
hear me
can
now?
hear you now. Yeah.
Alright. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. And what can I say? I'm trying to find things to do
Yeah.
that are not trading related while watching what's happening in this bullshit. So, how is everyone?
Yeah, I'll give it a few minutes for people to join. How you doing, Cyprus?
Hello, Mr. Cyprus.
What's up, brains?
That's a good nickname, Mr. Brains.
Got the ghost profile picture from Call of Duty.
You know, I never played Call of Duty.
Uh,
I don't know if that's weird or is it normal, but
that's weird. I think
I
everyone
don't.
literally played it. But depends, because, like, what was the console when you were young? Like, when you were, like, 12, 14? Was the PS2 out, or was it PS3? I mean, PS1.
PS2, PS1 and 2. I think at the 14 it was mostly PS2,
Okay.
but nobody had the PS2 here, man. You needed to go into those cafes, you know, like gaming cafes where you had like nobody had money for PS2 to buy it in house and buy all the games and everything.
How old were you when the PS3 came out?
Oh man,
PS2
let me
wasn't
see.
a Call of Duty. PS3
Let
was
me
Call of
see.
Duty.
I never played. I think the only shooter game I played on console was Halo when it came out.
Oh, so you're on Xbox?
Yeah, I had an Xbox 360.
Yeah, 'cause Halo wasn't on PlayStation. I had Xbox 360, and then I had
I
Xbox One, and then I had Xbox PS5. I also had PS2.
Here, everybody was playing on
Didn't
the
like.
PC, like Counter-Strike 1.6 and
Yeah,
all
I
of
never
those
played
PC
Counter
games.
Strike.
Oh man, those were the.
I only played RuneScape, Minecraft, League of Legends.
Bro, I was an alpha tester for League of Legends. Imagine that.
What?
Yeah, League of Legends wasn't even out. It was in alpha stage, and not even beta. I got access because we were playing Dota, but like on the Warcraft 3, not on like when Dota came out as an individual game. And then
Hmm.
there was a new game called Heroes of New Earth, which was basically a version of, let's say, a combination between Dota and what League of Legends did, but before League of Legends actually launched their beta phase. And we played that a lot, and we got alpha keys. And when League of Legends started, I was like, man, nobody's going to play this because what is with this cartoon type of graphics? It was
No,
more
it's the
childish, and then it exploded into an e-sport.
yeah,
So
it's like the most played online game, no? Online free
yeah,
game.
we played a few years, but then it got for me it got a little bit. But then I was in the university already and couldn't have a lot of time to spend on League of Legends anymore.
When you discovered the opposite gender, right?
No man, I discovered that at 15. Yeah, yeah, just Eastern European things.
Yeah.
But so what's you know what? Let me just show people stuff. You posted the dot dot plot dot. How is it called?
Dot
When I
plot.
hit dot plot. So let's show the people a little bit about the dot plot. So this was released. with FOMC. So this is showing FOMC's participants' assessment of appropriate monetary policy, midpoint of target range or target level for the federal funds rate. This is for the year 2025, correct?
Yeah, for the rest of the year.
2026 and 2027. Now, majority of people, am I interpreting this correct? This is the percentage of the rate,
The
correct?
interest rate, yeah, the federal fund rate.
And this is basically how many people vote. Is it counting votes or what is it counting exactly?
So each dot is a member's vote.
Yeah, it's a
So where
vote.
they,
Okay.
yeah,
So how many were 7, 8? 8.
yeah, 3, 6, 8. Yeah. So two people are expected. But where's the? Let me get it up.
Do I zoom in like this? So these two people, explain to me, they expect. So in total, they're 10.
So in total, there is 10, 12. There should be 19 dots. So 3, 4, 5, 6,
So
7,
these
8,
ones.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's 19 members, yeah. So 19 dots for 19 Fed members.
Okay,
So the
okay.
top 7 see no rate cuts in 2025 because it's at 4.5%, which is what we're at
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
Two
correct,
Fed
correct.
cuts, the two Fed officials see one cut,
Yeah.
8 officials see two, and then 2 officials see 3 rate cuts.
Yeah, going down into 3.5.
Yeah, so that's for the rest of the 2025, and then you have 2026,
20.
27.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they just take the median of each year's vote, and then so the median is that there's going to be 2 rate cuts for the rest of the year for 2025, and then in 2026 they expect there to be only one more because of what was there
Yeah.
previously in 2025, and then in 2027 there's also just one more.
Yeah, okay. And this is important for people to understand that if these projections shift to less rate cuts, like now the median is into 2 rate cuts, correct?
Yeah.
That means that all of the people that were expecting 3 rate cuts or more that are positioned for let's say higher number of rate cuts, it means that their calculations can be a little bit put off, correct?
Sorry, what was that?
So for example, if I expect 3 rate cuts and then this median shifts into only 2,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit screwed, correct?
Yeah, so the reason why it's important, so they release these every quarter. So you
Yeah,
look at what they released last quarter, and then you compare it to this one, and then see if it's shifted up or down, or if it comes in exactly the same. So it basically came in exactly the same, which is why the market didn't react. But if it shifted lower, then that would have been bullish, which because we would be
yeah.
expecting more rate cuts. If it shifted higher, we'd be expecting fewer rate cuts. So yeah, it came in exact. So there is nothing to worry about or consider because it's just as of what they said at the start of the year has stayed the same. I mean, it's a good thing to be the same in the sense that the market is pricing it in correctly and there was no surprises. But if you are biased towards one side, so let's say if you're a bull, you would want it to shift downwards, so things pump. If you're a bear, you would want it to shift upwards for things to dump. So yeah.
Then explain to me, because all these mental gymnastics I cannot handle. Why are people still positioning or talking about having higher frequency rate cuts than? Because this, as you said, it didn't change for the whole year. The median projection didn't change, correct?
Yeah.
So when I see all of this, like people saying that, oh, we're going to have rate cuts in July, we're going to have a surprise rate cut in September or whatever, I don't see how the rate cut would like how this would shift in the current situation with tariffs. But now you have another variable with what is happening with Israel and Iran, and if the US will get involved or not. Correct? So
Mm-hmm.
you're just getting extra variables when things should be just the same in a way. So
I mean, people
I
are
don't
just
know.
trying to predict, and trying to front run them and think they know the economy better, and they're trying to say, oh, the war and stuff, inflation, people are going to force Trump's, I mean, powers hand. But from what he said yesterday, he's very, very sure of his plan for the rest of the year. And the Fed always tends to cut rates late. So that's why people keep saying they need to cut it, they need to cut it. But I think they would happily cut rates later than they're meant to, than earlier. They're not going to rush, basically.
Okay, and let's say, for example, by an hypothetical, US will actively participate in this Israel-Iran war, then the chances of having even these two rate cuts will be diminished, correct?
If you, I mean, the thing with US escalation, like intervention, it's like I think markets will short term dump, but then mid-term and long-term it'd be quite good because it settles like the thing. Like US will just come in and close the conflict, as in like they will do whatever they need to do, or whatever they decide to do, not need to do, and then like that'll be it. If the US intervenes, it's not going to be like a 5-10 year conflict or whatever. They're going to get a deal done or whatever they plan to do that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it will just be over. Like that's the max escalation it can get. I doubt if US intervenes, then China is going to back Iran and Russia is going to back Iran, and then the UK is going to back US, and then we're in World War Three. Like that is the worst case scenario, and that is why we would dump massively because that tail risk is there. But once things become clear and it looks like the world is just going to let Iran just get walked over by US and Israel, then the market will pump again.
Okay, fair enough. So uh, let's say we would have, I don't know, a week or maybe 2 weeks of whatever escalation would be, that would provide a dump on all markets except oil, I'm guessing.
Yeah, oil will skyrocket and gold will skyrocket.
Okay, so
I don't mean
the
over in a
same
few.
as it.
Dijon just asked a question. I don't mean it's over in a few days, as in like the conflict. I meant like I think Iran would just surrender if the US start getting involved. I think they'll reach a diplomatic solution. I don't mean like full on airstrikes and nukes and conflict. But like for a few days, the world is going to be kind of on edge and kind of like, oh shit, what's going to happen? And then markets will react like in that way. And then once things come out that they're going to resolve the conflict and settle and make some kind of agreement or whatever, then things should be back to normal.
Okay, so that would, let's say, the worst case. That would be the worst case scenario with an US involvement. Now,
Yeah.
strictly looking at what happened after FOMC, when we had it, yes. So we were around here on FOMC around 105K. Uh, Man, I'm looking at the spot CVD and like everything is selling off except Bitfinex, which I don't know why they're TWAPing like from 12 hours ago. Very small amounts of Bitcoin spot. But I stopped looking at them for years, as in, for me personally, for my trading, they're not relevant anymore, as Binance and Coinbase is doing the heavy lifting anyways, most of the time.
Mm.
But I have seen this when we had other dumps in last year when Bitfinex was just starting a TWAP, not randomly, but they couldn't absorb, or let's say, for example, market couldn't absorb all of the cells. Do we have any news or what's up with this spike in spot buying? Let's see.
I think it's like a short closing.
I don't see
I think
any
people are just
news.
packing up. for the rest of the summer. Yeah, it was a short that closed.
Fartcoin has been aggressively, I mean all of them, but has been aggressively shorted here. A lot of long liquidations. Hype not as much overall. I mean it is shorted, but basically new shorts came in on Fartcoin pretty aggressively since the 1.1 was lost. I'm trying to say something, but I have nothing to say anymore except the whole we're in a range, we're in a big range. Previous week low is at 102.8. The value area low of the range is at 102.4. And then you have the lows around 101, 100.3, somewhere around there. This is the area where on Bitcoin I would look at to get involved anywhere between value area low at 102.5 and this low here at 100.4. That's why I have the marked arrow and alerts. Realistically, here we're just in a, let's call it a 2% range, but it's a little bit under, like 1.8% range. So Maven is saying that's not the worst case scenario. That would be a protracted regime change war like Iraq, Afghanistan. Yeah, that would be very bad. But at the same time, Mr. Maven, what JD was saying is taking into consideration that Iran is not Iraq or Afghanistan. So ideally, there shouldn't be a prolonged conflict, and there should be some agreement reached. But who knows? I mean,
Yeah, if
it's
you
it's
get out
very,
the Iraq Afghanistan situation, that'd be fucking
yeah,
dread.
that would be very, very bad. If like as you said, a protracted regime change.
Yeah, boots on ground, then yeah, all hell's gonna loose. All hell's gonna break loose.
It would be the, from my point of view, it would be the worst decision the US can do. Is just to go in a full on like what happened in Iraq, but who knows, man? Who knows? Somebody asked about Fartcoin. It's still downtrending on low time frames. It is being shorted aggressively. Now on Fartcoin, we're approaching the $1 area.
Hit
Actually,
$1, I
we
think.
it hit $1. Yeah, actually, we have this area here, the 93 to 9 to 86. The old. Let's pull a volume profile on this also because we had, as we've seen, one, two, bigger deviation, third time that held around, let's call it 93 to 86 cents. This was a big deviation. This reclaim actually was good. Let's pull a volume profile on all of this. Wow, man, that was a fib. So we're basically at the value area low of this range that started from 21st of April. So we have 60-day range. Now, that's why I have this gray dot here because it around $1. It's the psychological $1 area, and you also have the value area low. If we go under $1, if you go under 90 cents and reclaim, that's an easy long again. Overall, we are under previous week low here. You see all of the POCs, just ignore them. Yearly open is important here, as we can see it's around 93 cents and previous month low. So let me put some more alerts here. I also have a 3D naked POC here, but that would be the first. So anywhere closer to 86, 90, it would be the first point of interest, a bigger point of interest on Fartcoin. how would the continuation trade look like? Let's say, for example, we don't reach that. Well, the point of control of the range, where we see that we also rejected here 3 times, is from 1.16. Point of control is at 1.1. So basically, a reclaim of 1.1 and holding into 1.16 would be something like, if you see, for example, an M15 trend starting here on the reclaim and holding above 1.1 is good. I mean, would be good. Or see lower. Now, if this range falls, where are you looking at the bidding Fartcoin GD?
I think probably 0.8584, like just an SFP of the previous swing low.
So the previous low here, 0.85, 0.84. Now, to entertain another idea, let's say that where we have a daily imbalance that is unfilled, I think this is a weekly also. It's this fair value gap on the daily. Let me see on the weekly. Yeah, this one is on the weekly. So this is a daily imbalance that, of course, wasn't filled. Now, a daily and a weekly. Sorry, the big one is a weekly. It doesn't mean it needs to get filled, but at the same time, if we're looking on the 3-day or on the weekly chart and we know we have an imbalance, you are starting to look at what other confluences you might have there. So around 0.6 to 0.55. Well, you could argue that you have this little SR here. Let's take some kind of a medium, 0.65. Basically something like this maybe. 0.6, 0.65. Here you got protected. This was on Binance Perps. Here you got rejected. It was the point of breakdown. Rejected again, and then it had the impulse move up that created the fair value gap, the weekly imbalance that wasn't filled. So basically, worst case scenario. Okay, I don't know if it's true, but it seems that we have
What's happened?
a big data leak. Oh man.
Data leak?
Yeah. I'm going to post it now. I don't know if it's true or not. But it. Oh man.
Oil Insider. 16 billion.
No, this is insane, man. If it's true. I don't know
What
what
do
do
we
we
do?
do, man.
You,
You
you,
change
you,
password and you use two-factor authentication on everything.
you pray, mate.
What I didn't understand, I just saw it, but what I don't understand is so update here. This story originally published on June 18 has been updated with comments from the founders. What is this, man? Fucking. No, man, I don't want to buy Forbes. What? Um, has been updated with comments from the founders of Keeper Security regarding the 16 billion leaked passwords and other login credentials across the major tech vendor landscape. The largest data breach ever with an almost incredible 16 billion, including password, login credentials, including passwords exposed as part of ongoing investigation that started at the beginning of the year. That's why Google is telling billions of users to replace their password with much secure passkeys. It's why the FBI.
Hmm. What's that? That's the one password thing that's good to use. Always 2FA. When you
Yeah,
two factor, don't use your phone number because you can get spoofed text messages. So only use Authenticator app. Um,
yeah.
have a separate 2FA device. So if you lose your phone, you lose your 2FA code. So keep your two factor 2FA phone like at a separate location. Like don't ever let it leave the house. Um, Safest method is obviously write passwords down on a piece of paper and then store it somewhere. Be careful of your
Again,
iCloud. Don't upload shit to your iCloud because iClouds get
yeah.
often hacked.
So be careful with, and also the Microsoft, how is it called now? One or something like that. The equivalent of the iCloud. OneDrive, yeah.
OneDrive.
OneDrive on Microsoft. Just disable all of the continuous uploads and stuff like that, because you don't really want to have. Yeah, as Maven says, you need a password manager. Keeper Security has one. One Pass has one. What was the other one? Was free? Oh man, it was free, but then you could buy it for like, I don't know, I think €5 per year or something like that. Matrix always talked about it. Bitwarden, yeah, yeah, Emil Bitwarden. Bitwarden is good because it's cheap to get for a year. Uh, Keeper Security is more expensive. I think Bitwarden is open source also. But anyways, uh, when um, when you have things like this, I always go with the paid versions of stuff.
Don't cheap out. That's the
Yeah, I mean,
last
don't
thing.
cheap out for.
The stupidest thing
imagine,
to cheap out.
imagine not paying like €15 per year when you're storing like hundreds of
Yeah, bro.
passwords
There's a
or.
guy that bought like refurbished or like discounted ledgers, like a ledger from like an Amazon store, or like he didn't buy it officially from Ledger, right? He bought like some cheaper version. Like someone was selling a cheaper one. I don't know exactly know the story. And he loaded it up with $6 million worth of crypto, and it got instantly drained within like an hour. And then like Ledger had to put out like a notice, like don't buy ledgers from like third party sources offering you a discount. Buy it only from us. It's like who would cheap like want to save like $50 on a cheaper ledger?
And some people are insane anyways, so who knows? Like I had a friend, and don't do this, please, that was saving his passwords in a notepad on his desktop.
That like as in the Notepad app.
Yeah, man, like opening a .txt file on his desktop, and those were the passwords. Okay, it wasn't named the file wasn't a password. It was named something else, but it wasn't like a notepad on his desktop. Or, for example, you're taking pictures on your phone with your passwords and stuff like that, or on your Google Cloud or Google Drive, however it's called. Don't do that on your iCloud. Just don't have this. Yes, things like this, like your private keys shouldn't be on an iPhone or a Note app or anywhere digital in a way.
Yeah, I just pen and paper old fashioned is always the best.
Or buy those steel things. How is it called? I have a lot of those things that they are like a
All in
steel.
metal.
Yeah, the metal stuff where you put your.
Where they engrave it so it never ever like fades.
Yeah, you can set it on fire and it doesn't fade. For your private key. or your seed phrases or whatever.
Or just get into a bank, man, or it's insured. Surely there's like a huge market for like I don't know how it works, but like buying insurance policies against like your Bybit or Binance balance. But I guess you'd have to pay a ridiculous amount because of how easy people get drained.
I saw a discussion about insurance on crypto related stuff. Uh, but I didn't understand because I didn't understand. It was your friend, your good friend, Benny.
Who's Benny? Oh,
Come on, man.
Benny the
Yeah,
boss.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that
yeah.
fucking idiot.
So
Oh,
your friend was talking with somebody about this kind of insurance for. I don't understand when they're talking, man. I don't understand. It's like too much for my little brain. Insurance on something trading related, like you said, but it wasn't on Bybit or Binance. It was maybe in something crypto related insurance, and it was about insuring you or your wallets for being kidnapped. You know, with the kidnaps that we had
mm,
around Europe and in France and so on.
yeah.
So it seems that there is some kind of a kidnapping insurance. If you ever
How does
want,
that? How? Why would you want insurance against that? Because I'm pretty sure if I get kidnapped, I'm going to die. Like, what is the
I
probability of
don't
you
know, man.
surviving a kidnapping? Like, how would your insurance die? Yeah,
Man, it
fair enough.
seems that
Family.
these people in France they all survived, and some of them
Yeah,
really. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But at least have some kind of password manager, as the other guy said, and two-factor authentication through an app. Yeah, the Ledger co-founder, yeah, lost a finger. I don't know what's with this obsession about fingers, man.
easy to chop off.
Yeah, but what? Why not toes, for example?
That's a bit disgusting, isn't it? Just trying to get. It's easy to get access to your fingers than your toes.
I don't know, man.
Like if you had a missing toe, like I would not know. I could be like I could not know for years because like you'd
Exactly.
always be wearing shoes. But like a missing finger, everyone can see that. So probably why they cut the finger. I'd rather lose a toe than a finger.
Well, me too. That's why I said that it's why not toes. But let's not. Yeah, YubiKey is good, but at the same time you need to have the YubiKey with you.
Yeah, it's just a convenience. Like it's like I don't know. Let's say you're away somewhere and then don't know Binance gets like hacked or whatever. Or,
Yeah,
like some
like
kind of
with the
exploit
Bybit
going
one.
on. Yeah, and
With
then
the
you're away
Bybit one,
somewhere
man.
and
Fuck,
you
I
don't
would have
have your
been.
YubiKey with you and you can't withdraw and then you're stuck.
Uh, Also a thing about what is Hype doing, as we have seen since yesterday. Rejected
I think also you
$40
shouldn't put.
pretty. Sorry?
I was going to say one more point about
Yeah,
OPSEC is
sorry. Yeah.
I would also not put all your eggs in one basket. So like if your Binance account gets drained, at least you have some money on your Bybit, or if like your Bybit gets drained, you have some money on your Phantom, on your MetaMask, on your cold wallet, like you have money in the bank, like just spread all your cash out. So like if there's an exploit in one place, it doesn't affect everything.
Yes, that's what saved me actually in FTX. In the FTX fiasco. So now I have like three exchanges, let's think. Three exchanges, multiple ledgers that aren't even around me.
Mm.
You need to look at, for example, how much does a vault, I mean, how is a safety deposit box in a vault cost per year? And of course, a little bit of a MetaMask for some, like a hot wallet, a little bit of Phantom. But for example, personally, I never put those on the phone, so I never had the phone wallets ever. Uh,
Mm.
like a MetaMask on my phone, or the phone stuff for me, it seems that it's the um, easiest thing to get a hold of. But anyways, about hype. Did you see this little whale action going on here? What I
As
wanted to
in
show you guys. The unstaking, man. Look, come on, man. Load up.
each
So
Q, right?
we have, yes, this guy here. In 5 days, on the 24th of June, 2.4 million hype tokens, so around 86 million, $85 million, will got unstaked in the next. I mean, in five days. Now, of course, people are speculating that why would he unstake, or they, why would they or him or her, or why would they unstake if not to sell? But
Mm.
anyways, we have seen a consistent aggressive selling. Long liquidations aren't even getting bought back up anymore since the 38. That's why I traded the 38 on hype. But after that, after it's consistently losing 40, as I mean, it flipped $40 as a major resistance now. And you know, I love to trade hype, but at the same time, it might be looking somewhere around 34 to 30, even 31. 32 is the old value area low. Something like this. I have daily support trend around 34 also. Um,
I can see
so
it go to like
it
sub
can go
30,
to
to
like,
be honest.
yeah, it can go like to 28 without issue.
Especially
Because
if this is like one of the big major tops for hype.
yeah, it can without any issue, because basically if you're back into the old range now, you're if it closes like this and it's not a deviation, this is the old value area high that created the 37 all-time high. And basically, if this continues to get rejected, you are looking at getting into at least the value area low. So another drop into 32, 33, whatever. But as you said, let's look at on a macro scale, or let's say high time frame on the weekly. You still have the weekly, the same as with the fart coin. You have the weekly fair value gap here, which would actually be, you remember this 28 region?
Mm.
The full fill of on the weekly, and the full fill of the fair value gap would be into the 28 region, which acted as resistance several times, like 6 times in the past range. So looking at this on a weekly, even if it just goes into the 29, 28 area, it's still in a weekly uptrend. It's still above the old range highs, and it's not out of the question to form some kind of range between 28 and 40, and whatever happens, and then go for 50 or lower, or who knows. But it's not out of the question. In any shape or form, I want to have some kind of spot hype exposure in some kind of crazy dump scenario.
I think sub 30, I'll buy like a shit ton and then just forget about it until like $100. If you get sub 30, I think that'll be a nice like 2 to 3x that you'll get.
Even from 30 down to 20.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
you have like
I'll start bidding from 30 to like 27 and then look to sell at 60 to $100. That'd be a long term bag for me.
and the good thing for something like that would be that you can easily invalidate it if it starts closing under the 28.7, so under the old high, or old range high, and do something like this, and the downtrend continues. into under 26, under 27, and it just goes like this. Because that means that all of this would have been just a deviation to the big range, similar to how this was the deviation to the downside with that FUD when they rolled back the chain or whatever they did at $9, $10. So this would be like the bigger version of this, but on the buy side liquidity. So that would be an easy invalidation, as you said, from 30 down into 27, and if it starts closing consistent daily candles and under 27, then get out. And you could, for example, if it goes like this, and you can go back in when once it reclaims the 28-30 area. So several ways to play this, but from my point of view, besides Bitcoin, in some kind of massive pullback scenario for spot, if you like to play Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, hype is the next one to play. Probably you will get better risk to reward on it than Solana, for example, from the majors. And also, of course, Farcoin. With Farcoin, it's a little bit hard because you need to sync the moment where it's starting to reclaim, because we have seen how more aggressively it can dump than the others, than the other coins when it happened here in this area. So I would allocate more of a spot portfolio towards hype than to Farcoin and just trade Farcoin or buy some spots for like a multi-day or multi-week swing. If we go into this kind of 60 cents or something more aggressive, losing 85, 86 cents. Bitcoin is not doing much, and we see all of these just grind down and bleed. It's
I think like when last summer like ETH and BTC were
yeah,
pretty stable, and then alts just bled like 50% over the span of like a month or two. I think we're kind of getting into that same regime where like Bitcoin dominance will spike, but BTC holds above like 100K. But alts just fully retraced the entire bounce they had.
was and we saw this last year more aggressively with memes because it was the meme coin hype, and then they all died, and then they pushed incredible percentages like Popcat and all of them. Incredible percentages once things started to pull back up into third and fourth quarter last year.
Mm.
And then we had the virtual and the AI agent stuff also do the same. It did the same this year also, where the AI agents dropped aggressively, and then we had which one? Which one was the first? Zerebro pumped insane back up,
Yeah,
and
Zero
then
Bro, Gryphon. Um,
AIXBT also pumped aggressively. So maybe we have something like that, but
I've not
with
seen AIXBT, that account in people's replies in ages. He used to be like the top reply every time, like every CT person.
yeah, I don't see any. I don't even see like Truth Terminal anymore as much pointed out, or any of them. AIXBT really was like the first one to reply. But I don't know what the new meta was. Did you see Launchcoin? We were looking at it today because basically that was the new meta. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
Look at this,
It's just melting. Pasternak is just exploiting 6 figs and fees every day.
man. Really? They're still
Yeah.
making that much?
Well, I don't know now, but like it's about to
Ah,
make new pup contract lows.
yeah. So around 10, 10 cents, 11 cents. It's the low. It's the contract lows. So people would say that okay, maybe it's time to buy now, but well, we don't know. But with this kind of coins, if it drops, it can just drop into infinity. What I would look at, we clearly have the 13-cent region. Just wait for something like this and go in because it pumps aggressively like last time when it did it. When it did that, it pumped it 25. So above 13, I'll just put some alerts above 13. And I saw DGN ask about Resolve at 19 cents. What are your thoughts, JD? Oh man,
19. Yeah, resolve. It just absolutely.
contract 17 cents is the contract loan. This is on Binance, but I think it listed it on all of the
Just
exchanges.
melted 7% past 40 minutes. Coins just
Yeah,
getting absolutely hammered.
this is destroyed. Like
I wouldn't
look at
stand in the way of momentum like that.
Launchcoin and Resolve. Launchcoin is basically where Resolve was around here, somewhere, so it can dump further. Be careful with these ones. I mean, this can go into price discovery to the downside. We have seen with the others also. Of course, they will have a squeeze once there is a little bit of risk on. So, Degen, if you're, for example, let's say, how would I look at things? What were the five five most important coins that launched in the last 2 to 3 weeks that you saw that they were shield or they had some kind of narrative going for them or they were integrated in some kind of meta or category that, for example, Launchcoin was with the internet money, how is it called, money markets, or I don't even know what
Internet
was that.
capital markets.
Yeah, the ICM, internet
Mm.
capital markets. Then Resolve was in the
Athena beta.
Ethena beta, competitor to Ethena's stablecoin and whatever, the poor man's Ethena, and then you start look in it. Oh man, this oh man. Uh,
I'm probably not even
this
in profit anymore from the Echo deal.
did you have an echo deal?
Yeah, in it did an Echo deal.
Where?
I think
Where
multiple
did it
groups.
start?
Can't remember
I
which
didn't
group it
even know.
was. I think Kobe's group had it for sure, and then there were some other groups.
Do you know what were their buying price?
I think it's literally here. Like maybe I've checked. I was like 25% in profit, like last week.
But you're locked, right?
Yeah, it's locked for like what 1 plus 2, I think.
1 year,
Yeah,
and then 2 year vesting, or
I can't remember.
no?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyways,
Yeah.
but if it's locked for 1 year, it doesn't even matter anymore. Because yeah, so basically this also lost the contract lows which held last time before the push up. So this is on the, what is this? This is on the layer one, correct? What is
Oh,
it
it's a new
linked to?
L1. Yeah, it's a new L1.
Layer one. The other L1s, let's see, how is it? Kita, what is it doing?
Keto
How is
still at the fucking generations at work. At do or die level. Yeah,
is it?
KTA.
Where? Which chart are you looking at?
Dex
This
screener.
deck screener. So it's on Blowfin. What? I have.
I think
Okay.
Keto's finished. Yeah, it might be. Zach XBT FOD is hard to beat.
Did it?
My Dex screener is learning.
What was the FUD?
That's basically like Fugazi tech, and that the test net is just like some copy and paste code. Um, and that's like
So,
overvalued as fuck. Basically, you just FOD'ed it, saying that it's just a piece of trash.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
look,
I can see it. I can see
if
it.
it loses this, it's pretty much lights out.
Yeah. So 73 to 63. Let's have a little 10% drop here. Oh man, whoever you guys that caught Kita at the beginning around here, that was crazy.
Yeah,
Guru caught it, right?
Guru was in
Oh,
it from day one. Day one launch. he hit like a 500x, maybe like 250x, 300x. I think he's holding a little bit. Yeah, I think he's taken a lot of profits. I don't know how much he's in for, but always
Yeah,
sell
so
these things on the way up.
yeah, you need to sell. I mean, okay, you couldn't time it, but let's say at $1,
Yeah, he
I sell
sold
it.
some at
I sell.
50, he sold some at 75, $1, 1.2. Like you sell bits and bobs here and there. So when it does massive red candles like this, you'll be happy that you sold some.
So basically, if you are in Kita, watch this 60, 63 area, 670. Yeah, should hold around here if it's still. Let's see a bit. Do we have some? Look at this. Meaningless buys and big sells. Man, Zach XBT just fuds everything, man. Well, maybe it's true, but I don't know. But yeah, it's hard to get back from this kind of. Check Sui. Oh man, Sui.
Every day,
Uh,
man.
Why is this somebody else? Uh, you have your friend, the guy that always tags you in chat
Yeah.
ideas.
See.
Man, that's like a very very funny guy. Tags me every day like sweet chart, please. Also, this so fun that is bleeding out of everything. Saros or how you Saros, I don't know how you call it, still holding. So these are like the new coins. What is Cetus doing from the hack exploit down only? Let's look at Sui. I don't even know if they fixed Cetus or not after that exploit. Sui 2.8. Oh man. Let's look on the daily a bit. So these were the big levels here at around 1.6. We had 1.7 the low in April. So that's very, very important. Just in case, mark it out at 1.7, 1.7. Then you have a 1.6 equal loss from last year, October, because all of this imbalance starts to get filled. Basically, all of this. So we are clearing a downtrend. You lost 3.16, so you have either a reclaim of the old point of breakdown that created the most obvious rejection and also this low. So for Sui, get above 3.1, 3.15 and start going back up. This would look like a deviation and you would play this range again, 4.2. Basically, you would play this range. Or in these situations where you have this kind of de-risking, you're always looking at as close as possible to the origin of the impulse that created the move up. Very similar to what happened here. This was the last origin of impulse that had some kind of support that created the move up. It bled down and basically it came back into that demand zone. For us, that would be around 2.2 to $2. This. So basically, this is the equivalent of this. It's actually, you see here, you had the liquidity grab before the impulse move up, which is always a good thing when you want to, or when you're trying to find high probability order blocks or high probability demand zones. The ones that grab liquidity before making the impulsive move up and they left behind the demand or an order block, however you want to call it, those are the high probability ones that you would like to try to get involved on the first retest. So on the first retest, this was the first retest here, for example. and then you had the lower one. So if we go and have a first retest around 2.15 to $2, and then you need a breakup structure to confirm, very similar to what happened here. For example, you're good to go. So in these situations, always look for the origin of the last impulse move up. Now, if I would extrapolate that idea with Bitcoin, let's say 100K doesn't hold. Well, where is the origin of the impulse move up? Here on the 12 hour, you can see it better. The origin of the last impulse move up that created the range that actually was a distribution range in the scenario where 100K doesn't hold. Well, you have this 12-hour order block here. Basically, you have all of this demand zone here on the daily. And this is the origin of the impulsive move up that created the breakup structure and left all of this imbalance. So that's why you'll see people talk about 93, 94, 95K. This is the technical bid in case this range loses. And let's say we have summer and we have some kind of de-risking. So the same scenario on SUI would be around the $2 area. JD, you have some bids at 98, or where do you have them?
Yeah, my stink bids are at 98 to 95. I
That's
believe.
also a very good area to start off because basically JD is looking at the imbalance fill into the breakup structure level. This is the breakup structure level on the daily. You still have half of the imbalance fill here. And then basically, if you're looking at the weekly and everything, you have all of these naked points of control left behind. You have daily fair value gaps. You have a 3-day fair value gap. And you have a weekly fair value gap that fills into 98. So 98 to 94, 95 is basically on the weekly. Let me just disable the points of control just a bit. Is what what would hold now. If you guys remember, the first major point of interest around 75, 74 was the weekly super trend line that got hit. This was the first time the weekly super trend line got hit at 51 in August 2024 dump. This was the second time in April in the tariff FUD de-risking. The third time would be, for now at least, around 81. But the weekly trend has been pretty much holding, and the weekly super trend line hasn't been broken since the 20K area. Now, weekly trend low would be 84, weekly mid would be around 91, 92, which would line up also with filling all of the imbalances on the weekly and also with this weekly range low that we had from the previous range. So of course, we can just hover around here. Maybe the weekly trend goes up, and then we break down, and basically the weekly trend would be around 98, 94 in the upcoming months, and we get a retest, and then we can beat some spot or see whatever happens there. In the past, once the weekly support trend line was destroyed, like it happened here, and it was flipped into resistance. Here it got flipped into resistance. At 44, we got the official bear market. Okay, it started before, but it was the same in the past. Here, 71 drop, if you guys remember from the 10K area. So overall, that is around 81. So still nothing to panic on the weekly on Bitcoin. Would you bid where is Sailors average around 70?
70K. I'd go all in there, mate.
70K.
I don't even want to entertain that, man.
What would the drop be? It would be only a 35% drop, man. We had a 30% drop. What would
600%
a
drop on alts.
yeah, what would a 70% drop be? 40, 65, 40. Like a full bear market 70% drop in 1 year.
Hey, last cycle we were happy with 60k and
Yeah,
40k.
it was
Now
crazy.
40k, like yeah, 60k was crazy high.
Uh, from That's why I left these lines from 38 or 40k down into 25, if ever. Okay, the weekly would be the daily would be destroyed back then if that happens. But I will start buying a lot of Bitcoin spot again, the same as I did before COVID and after.
You wanna
But
call it a stream there?
yeah,
All right. Do you want?
and James just posts Capo and Capo
Yeah,
saying
that's what I
that
was reading.
could drop to the main support at 60-70k.
35 to 45%, Bitcoin for 45, altcoin average meme coins will be hit the hardest. I remain net short. Hey, Capo's gonna be right when they start saying Capo was right again in like a couple of weeks or a month from now after the summer chop. And if you get a nuke, then
Honest, what he
that's when you
says,
start mid.
yeah, what he says here is not out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything below 100k is gonna be bid very aggressively. Like 95. 98k, I would expect. Like a night, I think lowest I would like to see this summer is 90k. I think
Yeah,
if you start going
basically,
below 80, 85k, then it's retesting
it would.
Sailor's average is going to cause chaos.
Yeah, that
He's
is a
been
chaos
buying
that I
for
would.
5 years.
Yeah, that is the chaos that I would buy. Retesting his average and going even under. Wow, man, hype going at 36. It's
Mm.
not stopping. Yeah, we might get that under 30 or around 30 on hype. If this continues, Bitcoin is at under 104k now. Still bleeding. Yeah, we'll see, guys. Don't risk a lot. I mean, if we that are obsessed with trading um, say that we don't have setups, or I don't want to put. If I say I don't want to put risk in longs, and I mostly long, then please be careful trading in these conditions until we have some further news developments and see what happens. But it's clear with this bleeding on altcoins, it's also on Bitcoin. See, this is why Bitfinex is not important anymore. I mean, I don't know what kind of psyops is going on there, but Binance Spot and Coinbase Spot is leading always, both ways. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining.
Thanks, everyone. Hope you're going so good the rest of the day or evening. So hot, man. I can't even deal with it.
Yeah, it's
32 degrees.
it's crazy how you in the UK have the same degrees as I have here, and
Mm.
usually there rains. It rains there, and now it's raining here. So, or it rained. So, thank you, everybody. Stay safe,
Thank you.
JD.
Yeah, you as well. All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.